Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the EOU Benchwarmers Coaches Show. I'm Barrett Henderson, the Assistant Athletic Director at Eastern Oregon University, and I'm joined today by Coach Camp. Coach, welcome once again.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No problem at all, Coach. Let's talk a little bit about this week's opponent, Montana State Northern. They're coming here off that 15-hour trip. Or actually, you guys are headed there. I'm sorry. That's a 15-hour trip to Havre.
Coming here.
Yeah, I know. Havre, Montana, right on that Canadian border. And by the looks of things outside today, you would kind of think the locations are a little different. They're going to have sunny 60-degree weather on Saturday, and it'll be a little bit different here. Talk a little bit about that trip to Havre.
Well, it is a long trip, but at the same time, it's a great chance for the team to be together. We stop at the University of Montana, about 5 hours away from Havre. We'll practice for about an hour and 10 minutes, and then we'll get a bite to eat, and then we'll be back on the road. And it's like I said, it's about 5 hours from Havre, and it's a long trip, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. That'll have no effect on the game.
The Lights, they've kind of been up and down this season. They lost 4 straight games there middle of the season, but they've reeled off 2 back-to-back wins, and that was including last week at Montana Tech. They're kind of a hot team right now.
Oh, they're a good football team, and Coach Sampson does a nice job with them. They got a very athletic quarterback. Their offensive line's playing a lot better. They got a bunch of really good defensive players on the defensive side of the ball. Kind of very similar to us, and they're had a few losses in a row, but now they're bouncing back. They played really, really well defensively against Montana Tech, and the offense put up 21 points on Tech. So it's it's a team that's gotten better. And I expected that. They were a good football team when they come down here to LeGrand. It was a dogfight back and forth, and luckily we were able to come out on top.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that game, September 18th here in LeGrand, 50-46. What impressed you about the Lights in that one?
Well, you know what, the fact that they never quit. It was definitely a 4-quarter game, and they kept fighting the entire way. Again, they got some very good athletes on that team, and they continue to fight. And it was good to see them how they're kind of digging their way out like we did. We started out 0-3, and then we kind of got on a roll, and then so very similar football teams coming. That will meet in Havre at noon on Saturday. So.
Yeah, that's a good reminder, everybody. That's an 11 a.m. kickoff Pacific time. Now all those kickoffs have moved up 1 hour here. Daylight saving time's coming. Chris Ware, Coach, he broke his 11th and 12th school records last weekend at Carroll. He now owns 6 career marks at EOU, and he's only a junior. Talk a little bit about what kind of young man he is.
Well, you know what, Chris has continued to get better, each and every year. There's still a lot of things I'd like him to be able to work on, being able to see the field completely, all the time. So he's not made it yet. He hadn't arrived, but at the same time, he's our general. He's our signal caller. He does what I ask him to do, and I say this all the time. He's even better off the field. A great student, great person to be around. But at the same time, knowing Chris and the way that I do, there's always room for improvement with everything that he does.
Now, Coach, back to that trip to Havre. It's a 15-hour bus trip. We know the guys sleep and do some homework. What do you do on the bus?
I do a lot of reading. I love to read, and have a chance to bring certain guys up and visit with them a little bit. You'd really like to be able to talk to the kids all the time, and between reading and bringing them up to the front seat so they can see the view, it kind of kills the time a little bit. My boys are into the PSPs. I play a little bit of college football, and I'm not bad. I get after Coach Murray all the time. So.
And you're Oregon State?
Hey, I'm Oregon State every time, and he's picked about 10 different teams, and the outcome's still the same. So, no, but it's a great opportunity just to bring kids up and be able to talk to them a little bit, not about football, but just about what's going on in their lives, academics, and and just talking to them about their future. And I remember at Oregon State, we'd take that dreaded trip down to Eugene to fly out, and Coach Pettibone would bring up 2 or 3 guys each trip, and then have an opportunity to visit with him, and it seemed like I was up there quite a bit, and all for good reasons too. So, but it's just a chance for us to be together. I let the boys watch movies. Win, lose, or draw. At the end of on the way back home, we have 1 hour reflection time. So I want it quiet on the bus, and they do a really nice job of that. So it's a business trip on the way up, but at the same time, I want them to be able to enjoy each other with an inside voice.
Very good, Coach, and we wish you the best of luck and have a good trip.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Coach, and we'll go ahead and bring up Coach Ben Welch now. Coach Welch and the Mountaineer cross-country programs had an excellent meet last Thursday in Caldwell, Idaho. A little puberty right there. Last Thursday, the Mountaineer men's and women's cross-country programs at the Coyote Twilight meet. And, Coach, the EOU women and men both finishing second at that meet. Let's go ahead and start the headline, Carly Coffey, another first-place finish.
Yeah, that was she went over there looking to run fast and was pretty much by herself after about 800 meters and ran really quite strong, especially since the week before she'd been under the weather. So we're really happy with that. So, I mean, she was just a second off her own school record that she set at Willamette and was won by almost a minute. So that's a pretty impressive run.
Yeah, Coach, the women have really been running well together, running more as a pack as the season's progressed. Talk a little about their growth as a team.
You know, they're really starting to figure some things out. We actually had a few of them had some good breakthroughs on Thursday. A couple of them kind of fell apart late on the pack dynamics. There's some communication things there that they need to do, and they now realize some of the significance of those. They're finally running together enough that they can start to key in on some of those other smaller details that make a significant difference. That's something that College Idaho does extremely well. It's one of the reasons they're ranked 7th.
Now, Coach DJ Flores, he won the men's race, and it was a really close one with Greg Montgomery of College of Idaho. They went back and forth.
Yeah, they did. Actually, DJ kind of took it out, and no one really went with him. And then about mid-race, Montgomery caught up with him, and then there was a pretty good battle from there. So bit of bump and run on that, actually, on some of the turns. So DJ was a little frustrated with that, but he kind of just stored it up and unleashed a pretty wicked kick at the end. So did a very good job of staying calm and, during the race and just unloading at the right moment. So there's a hairpin turn right there at the end, and he came off that corner and he put his foot speed to good use.
Now, Coach, the quote-unquote regular season finished right now for you guys. You're going to prepare here for a couple postseason meets. Are you happy with where your teams are at right now?
Yeah, I am overall. I mean, the guys finishing 1 point behind the number 9 ranked team over there and battling well with them. We kind of did the same thing last year, got beat pretty handily early in the year by them and then pushed them to the limit at their home meet. And I thought we actually have a little stronger team showing right now than we did at this point last year, which is promising since we ended up 12th. So, and I know that the College Idaho coach, who's the Raiders, trying to get the other Raiders to pay attention to the fact that several teams in the conference are coming on. So the conference is going to be a dogfight. I mean, we're the deepest conference in the NAI right now on both sides.
Yeah, that conference meet in a couple weeks here in Klamath Falls, the Cascade Collegiate Conference Championship meet. Do you know a little bit about that course, Coach, and what are your expectations for your teams?
That's a challenging course. That's the one we were fortunate enough to race on back in early September, and it served us well. We've done some specific things training for it. It's after about the first half mile in the women's race and about the first quarter mile in the men's race, you're never really truly flat other than for a few, maybe 100 meters here and there, but a lot of up and down. The altitude plays a factor, so you have to kind of change your tactics a little bit for that. And we're actually going to discuss that at practice this afternoon a little bit. So the moisture they're getting down there this morning, they had a 1/4 inch of snow.
Wow.
So the predictions for better than that next Saturday, so let's hope so. But that moisture actually may make it a little better course. Because when we were down there before, there were some areas where the dust was so thick that it just left a cloud as you went through it. So, but the quality of the depth of the teams in the conference with, 4 rated men's teams, and 3 right now, I guess, and a 4th knocking on the door, and then 4 weighted women's teams with another one knocking on the door out of 10, it changes how you do things a little bit. You can't overemphasize